Hi guys, Chantel here from Life Sorted, and today we're going to be talking about things that I will not be buying or will be buying in absolute minimal amount of quantities in 2018. Last year I decided to look into minimalism and decluttering. I've been using the KonMari method to slowly get around our house one bit at a time and trying to actively purchase and bring less stuff into my life. I wouldn't call us minimalists, definitely not. Our aim is to simplify our lives. Me and John have said this for the last year. We really just want our home and our lives to be simpler, to be less full of stuff and less full of clutter, and that's kind of been our aim. So for 2018 we are aiming to bring in less stuff into our home, and these are the things that we've kind of worked out we really don't need to be buying anymore, we have enough of, or we simply don't use, so there is no point in them. So these are 10 items that I will not be purchasing in 2018 unless absolutely necessary. So the first one is bottled water or general bottles of drinks when we are out and about. Quite often I would pick up bottles of water when we went out on day trips or when I was out with the baby during the day, and I realised it was such a waste of money. It really wasn't something that was necessary. I used to pick up a lot of bottles of Coke or Pepsi, so the aim for 2018 is to cut down hugely on that. I haven't, for these first few weeks of 2018, I don't think I've bought any yet when I have been out and about, which has been really, really great. Instead, I carry a water bottle. Okay, clearly that's not water in there, obviously. So I've been carrying this pretty much everywhere I go. It goes in my rucksack when I'm out with the baby during the day. It goes in the car if I'm going out for anything. Pretty much everywhere I go, this bottle has been coming with me. Whether it's left in the car or in my bag, it's with me. The fact that it's squash. So obviously, I know I should be drinking more water. Sometimes I get bored of water, and that's usually when I'd reach for a bottle of Coke or something. So instead of doing that, I've simply been making myself squash. So as well as carrying this, I carry this. So this is one of those little Robinson's squash shoot things. Now these are about £1.99. Sometimes you can find them on offer. Robinson's do them, Oasis do them. I think some of the supermarkets have got their own brands. I simply carry this in my bag, and if I get bored of the water, which I refill this with, I just put a shot of the squash in there, and I don't really feel like I need the Coke or anything sweet because this is enough. So there's 0 sugar in this. This also kind of links back to one of my 2018 goals video, which I'll put up here, about drinking more water and just being a bit healthier. So yeah, bottled water and bottled drinks are out for 2018. The next one for us is kids' meals in restaurants. Me and John do eat out probably once a week. Sometimes it's with friends or with family, or simply if we are out and about. If we take a trip to Cardiff, then obviously we eat out. And since Elian has been eating solid foods, we did baby-led weaning with him, so he eats proper food. We've bought him kids' meals, and I don't know why we bother. Yes, he will pick at them, he will eat bits of them, but kids' meals range between like £3 and £6 depending on where you're eating, and it just seems a lot of money to waste on a toddler. So unless you've got an older child who will eat a full meal, or you've got a toddler with a particularly big appetite, cut out the kids' meals, stop buying them. Elian's got a decent appetite, but quite often he will just, if we have like fish fingers and chips for him, he'll eat half a fish finger or 1 fish finger and a few chips and a bit of salad, and the rest of it goes to waste, and that is ridiculous. So we've stopped buying kids and toddlers meals. He can simply share some of our meal, because usually we eat stuff that he can eat anyway, and then if we really feel like he needs something extra, We buy like a side portion of veg or salad, or if it's somewhere that doesn't have either of those, maybe a side portion of chips or something, just something not as much as a full portion of food like a toddler meal would be. This year I am not going to be buying any accessories at all. Since doing the KonMari, I have more than enough jewellery, scarves, gloves, hats, bags, even shoes. I really don't need any. I have so much of it still, even after doing my KonMari declutter, that I don't feel the need to buy anything at all. There is more than enough to cover all eventualities. My rucksack was in really bad condition, so I did get rid of it during my KonMari, and John bought me a really nice, good quality Vans rucksack for Christmas, so that covered that. Handbag wise, there's none I need. Really, really isn't. So I'm not going to be buying any accessories this year at all, if I can help it. That also goes for clothes. I do not need any clothes. I did the KonMari. I got rid of almost 3 huge black bin bags of clothes to the charity shop, and I still have a ridiculous amount of clothes. So I've worked out if there is anything in my wardrobe that I actually need, or if there is something that needs replacing. So I know I need to replace my jumpers this year. Most of my jumpers are in shockingly bad condition because I've had the same jumpers for quite a few years. They weren't great quality, they were probably cheap ones originally, and they do need replacing. So I know that I am going to purchase them at some point, but I'm looking for a higher quality jumper that I know is going to last me a few years. So when I find it, I'll know. And the same goes for some of my blouses. I bought a lot of cheap blouses from Primark and Tesco's and like Mataland and George when I was first breastfeeding Elian. I'm still breastfeeding him, but when I was first breastfeeding, I bought a lot of these cheap shirts that I could wear on a daily basis because they were getting dirty so easily with like a small baby. And because they've been unbuttoned so much, the buttonholes are no longer strong enough to hold the buttons, and they constantly pop open, which is not great when you're out and about. So the plan is to get rid of about, I think I've counted about 10 or 12 shirts, which all have problems with the buttons, which are all cheap quality shirts. So they all need to go, and the plan is just to invest in 2 good quality shirts really to tide me over the next few months, few years really. So clothes, other than what I need to replace, I am intending to purchase 0 clothes in 2018. So number 5 is carrier bags. We've had to purchase our carrier bags in Wales for quite a number of years now. It's been a long time you've had to pay for carrier bags. So it means that most people have bought the like tote bags or the much thicker quality shopping bags, yet we still buy shopping bags on a weekly basis when you forget to get one. You go to the supermarket, forget to take your bag, and you buy a carrier bag, which means we have ridiculous quantities of carrier bags in this house. Me and John pulled them all out from on top of the washing machine, which is where everybody keeps their carrier bags, I think. Pulled them all out and realised we probably had in the region of 75 carrier bags in there. Some of them have probably been in there since we moved into this house 3 years ago. So we got rid of all of the cheap thin plastic ones. They went straight away into the recycling. We put 5 of the good quality bigger Tesco's or Lidl's ones with the good handles on into each car. So there are 5 carrier bags in the boot of each car. Then the other ones, if they were in a good condition, were folded up. We've put them in a box, and we are currently using them for our rubbish bin in the bathroom and in the bedroom, instead of just leaving them, tipping them into the black sacks and everything, to try and use them up with the recycling and things like that. So hopefully we won't be purchasing carrier bags all of this year. We just have to keep remembering to take stuff with us. So putting them in the car means that even if we nip into Tesco's, forget to take our carry bag in with us, at least they're in the boot, so when we get back to the car we can pack it in and put it away. So yeah, no carrier bags this year, or for the foreseeable future hopefully. So number 6 is spare toiletries. I cannot be the only person guilty of this. When I decluttered the bathroom, I'll put the original video up here, it is on my other channel. I just had lots of spare items, usually because I've bought them when they've been on offer, or I've seen them in like B&M's or Home Bargains, like cheap. So I had like 6 bottles of shower gel. How long is it going to take me to use 6 bottles of shower gel? It's ridiculous. So I'm not going to be buying any spare toiletries anymore. I don't need travel size. I don't need to bring travel size back from hotels when I go. Everyone feels like they're getting something for free when they're like, oh, I'm taking this tiny miniature soap home with me, which I'm never going to use. You're never going to use it, people. Just don't bother. So I am no longer buying spare toiletries or bringing tiny toiletries home with me from places. I have my shampoo that I use. I alternate 2 shampoos because it's good for your hair to do that. So I've got 2 lots of shampoo, and then I've got my shower gel, John's got his shower gel, and we've got the baby's stuff. That's all I need. I don't need anything else. So I'm only going to purchase it when I finish, like start coming to the bottom of the one I have. I did get stuff for Christmas, which is always what happens. So I do have spares in that sense in my drawer already, and the plan is to use all of them up before I purchase any more toiletry stuff. People do it with toothpaste. You have like an extra tube of toothpaste. Even though it's going to take you 2 months to use your current tube, you've got another tube. Why? Why do we do it to ourselves? It just takes up space at the end of the day. So I'm not going to be doing backups of toiletries anymore. So number 7 is magazines. I haven't found that I've read kind of like fashion, celeb, trash magazines for quite a number of years, so I kind of haven't been buying them anyway. But I am guilty of occasionally picking up home magazines and food magazines, and I don't know why I bother. Half the time I'll read the odd article in it and then it'll just get thrown in a bin somewhere, recycled. But with food stuff, there are so many good blogs online that you can get recipes on, it kind of seems pointless. So me and John had subscriptions to the magazines we wanted for Christmas. One, to save us money, but also it means that we are getting the magazine we want, but we're not going out and buying it all the time. So it just gets delivered to the house. The magazines that we really enjoy and we do read from cover to cover, and then they either get passed on to somebody else or they go in the recycling, and those are the only magazines we now bring into the house. So John has a photography magazine, obviously, and then I have a subscription for both of these. I found these last year and I absolutely love both of them, and I read every single word in them, usually within the first few days of them coming. These are my me time, which there is a video coming on me time next week for you guys, hopefully. And yeah, I love them. So these are the only magazines that come into our house now. I don't buy any other magazines. Don't buy food magazines or celeb magazines or themed topic magazines. There's just no point. You can get so much information online from awesome blogs or from YouTube or from websites, company pages, anything like that. Or there is also online magazines from places like Issue, so go online and find them if you need to, or even your local library. Your local library stocks magazines, go find out if they have some. Number 8 is DVDs and CDs. Does anybody buy those in this day and age, really? We have an Amazon Prime subscription, we have a Netflix subscription, and we had a Spotify, but we've recently changed it to a Google Music because that plays through our Google Home Docs. So we really don't find that we need to buy DVDs or CDs anymore. They take up space, they cost more money, it seems pointless. So the only DVDs that we have any plan to buy in the future are the Disney Blu-rays for Elian. That's about it. And CDs, we have to really love a band these days if we're going to buy a CD, and we only buy a CD to play it in my car. That is the only reason we have a CD. John is a bit of a music geek and actually loves the quality of a CD over like an MP3, and always swore he would never become an MP3 person. But purely the convenience of having our Google Home, it's kind of like, yeah, he's being pushed more towards it these days. So we don't buy CDs. It's as easy as that, and we don't plan to buy any this year if we can help it. Like I said, unless we really love a band, then we aren't going to purchase a CD for them. Number 9 is fiction books. I'm not going to say all books because I have found with non-fiction books, like my KonMari book, I do reference it back quite often, and I'll flick back over it, I'll find something I want to reread, or I lend it to other people. But I find with fiction books, I read it once and then that's it. I used to keep all of my books. I had boxes and boxes when we moved back from Cardiff, and I made a conscious decision when we moved that I was just going to get rid of them. So I only kept the few that I really loved. And then I did my KonMari again a few months ago. I did the books and I cut that down to about a quarter of the books. And I've only kept, actually of all the books I've read, the only ones I've kept are my Sue Townsend books, which I absolutely adore and can see myself reading again. But other than that, I never read a fiction book twice, so buying it seems such a waste of money. It's ridiculous. I dread to think how much money I've spent on books in my lifetime. I used to be a 40 books a year person, although I did buy a lot from charity shops. Still, 40 books a year, it's a lot of money. Since having Elian, I don't find the time to read, sadly. So it's very rare that I do get to read a fiction book, but when I do, I have decided that I'm going to go sort out my library subscription, my library membership again. I used to use the library all the time in Cardiff, and when I first moved home I used the library a lot because all my books were in storage. But over the last 2 years, I don't think I've set foot in the library more than half a dozen times, and that's been for toddler sessions. So I'm going to go sort out my library membership and sort out a library membership for Elian, even though he has a lot of books. And if there is really a fiction book I want to read, I'm just going to go to the library for it. If you're happy not to have a physical book, then use your e-readers, your Kindles or whatever the other ones are called. Use ebooks if that's your thing. If that floats your boat, use ebooks. It's a lot cheaper, especially if you get like the Kindle subscriptions and things. Use those, or audiobooks. I love audiobooks. When I was driving back and forth to Cardiff a lot, I used audiobooks. So the plan is not to purchase any fiction books from now on. There's just no point. I can't really see that there is any book that I am going to be craving that I have to read enough for me to purchase it. Most of the things like the trilogies I've read and things like that are finished, so I'm safe. Like the last Harry Potter book or something which I had to buy, or the last Divergent book that I had to buy. I don't think there's going to be anything like that at the moment that's going to be like, I have to own that book the day it comes out and binge read it. So no more fiction books. The last item on our list is home decor. We've been in this house for 3 years. It's still not finished being decorated, I don't think, but I'm pretty sure I don't require any home decor items. At least not in the foreseeable future. Really, I've got lamps, I've got mirrors, I've got cushions. I do have to replace the rug in my living room, sadly, but there's nothing I can do about that. But candles and ornaments and things like that, I just don't need them. I don't have ornaments and trinkets lying around a lot anyway, and ones that I do have, most of the time I've been bought by other people. And we have candles, but we don't replace them until we burn them all the way down. There's just no point. So there is set places where there are candles. There's a tiny one on my bedside table, there's one in the living room, there's one in the kitchen, there's one in the bathroom. And it's as simple as when it's used, then we'll replace it. So ornaments and trinkety stuff we won't be purchasing this year because we really do not need it. So those are the 10 personal things that we won't be buying in 2018. Tell me what you plan to cut out in 2018. I'm sure there are lots more stuff I could put on this list, but these were kind of like the big things that we realised we simply did not need to be spending money on, and we did not need to be bringing more stuff into our house from that. So guys, give me a nice big thumbs up, hit subscribe to join the Life Sorted community, leave me a comment, and I'll see you guys again soon. Bye!